Hello, everyone. I all hope you enjoyed your wonderful, blessed weekend and a very blessed weekend. And I'm also exactly here to tell you that I'm also quietly back, guys, for this week until Friday as well. We'll see exactly what happens in December, but I won't be able to shoot during December. So you guys have to exactly know that I won't be able to exactly do more my episodes within December because it's a holiday. And as you can see, guys, it's a festivity. But before November exactly ends, I'll do as much as my episodes and as much as my characters and all of them soon as possible, so that before November ends, you will have all the episodes and all the other characters as well. And for those of you who are quietly watching Swords, I'm very grateful for you guys exactly viewing and also watching my episodes. It gratefully means a lot to me. And for those of you who are also watching the long videos, it gratefully means truly a lot to me. So God bless you all, and may you also exactly pursue your dreams and also fulfill them, and also stay positive and stay happy. God bless you all. On today's episode, we're here to talk about Mount Man, who is a supervillain and also an assassin, and also a member of the Order of Darkness, which is a sacred terrorist organization that works on the behalf of an ancient group of powerful supervillain or powerful villains known as the Founders, who, by the way, want to become the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the known universe and of the rest of sacred existence in a process. And by the way, guys, Mount Men is a very ancient assassin and an ancient supervillain. Just for you guys to know that. Let's exactly begin. In Mount Men's early life, he's been studying the ancient ways of the dragons and everything else about the dragon race and also about their supernatural powers and their abilities and their gifts and their abilities and their gifts and their powers. During at that time, he went throughout the sacred archives and textbooks in order to learn how to have a dragon of his own, or rather 5 or 10 dragons of his own. He discovered that the supernatural dragons have the ability to transform into human form, and also are supernatural creatures that can exactly transform back to human form, that can also transform back to dragon form. He even discovered that the other dragons have the ability not to transform into human form, but they have the ability of a psychic connection, which they can exactly talk with their psychic connection, which they can exactly communicate through a psychic connection with their owners or with their tamers, with their owners and tamers, and with their owners and with their partners and with their tamers as well. Mountman exactly became obsessed and became so asphyxiated with having dragons of his own that he's willing to exactly do whatever it takes to have one in his own region and in his own region and in his own pockets as well, so that he can become a powerful, feared assassin throughout the sacred world and throughout the rest of sacred existence. Despite this, Mountain Man began to able to learn more about the dragons who exactly lived on ancient dragon cities and who were quite quietly protected by the ancient dragon guardians, and who exactly lived there for many centuries. Mountman exactly journeyed into the ancient dragon cities and found the guardians were perfectly exactly waiting for him. He told the guardians that he came in peace, but he did not exactly want war with them. And he told the guardians that he is eager to exactly have a dragon of his own, so that he can control and exactly use it for his own ends. The dragon keepers and guardians told Mount Men that the dragons were formerly under the control of the Fallen, who was an ancient and powerful villain who used the dragons to wipe out, who used the dragon to try to wipe out the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans and the Four-Nation Hunters and the rest of the supernatural races and the aliens and the superhuman races from existence, meaning permanently for good. Despite this, Mountman exactly told the Dragon Guardians that he is not like the Fallen and that he will never try to commit such an evil deed or such a very evil, cruel deed in order to wipe out the supernaturals or the aliens or the superhumans in the process. But he's willing to do whatever it takes by any means necessary to have a dragon of his own, and also to make sure that it falls under his sole control. The Dragon Guardians exactly believed Mountain Man, as they heavily believed Mountain Man's word, and they decided in order to show him the dragons as a way. They showed him the four powerful, invincible, greater, immortal dragons that ever lived. Some with the ability to transform into human form, others not without the ability to transform into human form, and even with the three-headed dragons, with the three-face-headed dragon. And Mountain Man exactly chose the three-headed dragon face in order to becoming its partner, in order to becoming its owner and also partner as well. And the dragon guardians exactly happily oblige into swimming straight into the three-headed dragon's lair and also home. And Mountain Man exactly directly went straight there in order to exactly psychically to communicate with the three-headed dragon. He discovered that the three-headed dragon cannot exactly have the doesn't have the power or the ability to transform into human form, but he also discovered that it has a psychic communication with its owner and with its owners and current leader. Despite this, Mountain Man was very psychic, was very quietly impressed and very quietly happy with himself that he has achieved the impossible and that he has gained a dragon of his own. Before he can exactly depart, one of the dragons in human form exactly told Mountain Man never to use a dragon for such evil purposes, or the dragon race will exactly destroy its dragon and its owner, one way or another. And Mountain Man exactly reassured one of the dragons in human form that he will not exactly do such a thing. But if the age of darkness or the age of chaos soon exactly arises, he'll be forced to exactly defending his masters and the rest of his current masters and leaders by any means necessary. And also the dragon guardian and also the dragon in human form told Mountain Man that whatever it takes, they will also do the same thing if means necessary. And Mountain Man was heavily pleased and very enlightened with the dragon in human form as well. The three-headed dragon and Mountain Man left and returned to Mountain Man central headquarters, which was an island that had two volcanoes. And after that, the dragon exactly created its lair. And during for the most of that time and for many years, Mountman became obsessing in learning more about the dragon's power and the origin of fire and the ability of giving life and energy and power and all of that. During at the time, Mountain Man exactly began creating cybernetics in order to supply the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with destructive and powerful technology as part of his new deal with the Shadow Empire warlords, that they will exactly continue supplying him with more ancient texts and knowledge about the supernatural race and the alien origins and the alien origins and also the origins and also the universal man's origins and the dragon's origins and the secrets of immortality and its origin and its power, and also the gifted abilities of immortality as well at its possession. And Mountman was very quietly systematically pleased as he created a cybernetic implant, cybernetic implant of his own hand, demonstrating his power and his ability as he trained three of his protégés to become very brutal and very ruthless assassins and powerful mercenaries. And he told three of his protégés that they need to become brutal and very ruthless and very manipulative and very cunning and very ruthless and cruel in nature, in order not to underestimate their opponent or their enemies powers and their abilities in taking them down, and never to take them lightly in facing them in battle or in war. And the three protégés successfully grew to Mountain Man as well. During at the time, Mountain Man exactly returned to the three-headed dragon's lair, and found that the three-headed dragon has exactly birthed new powerful dragon eggs, and Mountain Man exactly decided, in order to make sure that those eggs would become his rightful dragons and everything else as well, in order to training those dragons to becoming his rightful dragon keepers, or if they transform into supernatural human form, they can become his followers and also his predecessor. And Mountman became very pleased and very successfully happy with this progress. Over the years, Mountain Man has kept himself at a distance from the sacred galactic war and from the sacred world's wars and conflicts and sacred wars, conflicts and disasters and chaos and all of that. He managed to keep himself quietly at a distance in order to monitoring the war and also to keep him watching of the war and everything else. During that time, he remained within his central headquarters of his volcanic island, able to exactly learn more about the secrets of immortality and power, and how the original Lord of Magic began rising and ascending into power as well. During that time, the human dragons have quietly able to gain the power to transform into dragons, and it is in order to exactly let them to become his followers. The four powerful, invincible, immortal human dragons had been given the supernatural power to manipulate in earth and fire and wind and dark magic at will, creating ancient dark temples of their own in order for them to systematically convene and meet up with their master known as Mount Man on the 20th on the 29th of April, Mountain convened with the dragon followers as he exactly convened with them within the ancient dragon temple, and the dragon followers informed him that the death of the original world magic has created a power vacuum unlike any other before, and that it has forced the Shadow Empire warlord and commander to secretly forming alliances with ancient and powerful groups of supervillains such as the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, the founders, the Sacred Circle, Sacred Five, Unholy Alliance, Sacred Five, Unholy Alliance, Sacred Five, Unholy Alliance as well, Unholy Alliance and Sacred Five as well, and also the Court of Nature in order for them to secretly supply them with destructive technology, and these ancient groups of supervillains would secretly supply them with more worlds and with more planets that are under their control as part of their deal. Mountman seemed very quietly intrigued and very happy with the development of the event, and he told his followers to keep him looped and to keep him updated on the Universal Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition and the New World Magic and what exactly are they doing with their whereabouts and what exactly they're planning with their systematic plans and everything else. And the followers systematically agreed that they'll exactly do just about that as well. On the 10th of May, Mountman exactly remained meditating within the sacred chambers of the temple, where he exactly began to understand everything else that was completely going on, until one dark druid exactly told Mountain Man that the Shadow Empire warlords of dark magic users known as the Seconds are out for revenge and are willing to destroy the Intergalactic Coalition and are willing to wipe it out completely, and are also completely serving and working on the behalf of the new Global Magic and his new ancient secret society known as the Order of Power. And Mountman became intrigued and very happy about that development, as in completely very happy about that development as well, as in very enlightened and very completely happy. On that day, he took his three-headed dragon and flew off straightly into the ancient ruins of the volcanic temples that were quietly destroyed by the greater early wars, and where he landed his dragons in order to understand everything else that completely happened. He secretly exactly used his supernatural powers and ability into looking into the past on the 11th of May, to look into the past exactly what happened within the volcanic temples and cities of the dragons, and he began to understand that this was the doing of the fallen, who caused the destruction and the rift among supernaturals between vampires, werewolves, witches, druids, warlocks, and fairies and fairy witches, and druids and dark faithful, and mermaids and aliens and superhumans that are quietly waging war against each other. That he was the reason for this rift and everything else, and the friction of the other factions of the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans that are quietly waging war against each other. And Mountman became very pleased and very happy that he can exactly finally find a way to use the chaos and the rift among the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans that are fighting amongst themselves against the Formation Hunters and against the Universal Heroes, which he could successfully exactly benefit from that as well. On the 10th of June, Mountman exactly returned to his next headquarters within the mountain of his base, and found that a supervillain was quietly waiting for him, known as Silverface, and he exactly battled with Silverface in swordsmanship, and Silverface and him were quietly evenly matched in hand-to-hand combat and also in swordsmanship. Silverface became to realize that Mountman is very skilled in swordsmanship, and is very, very skilled in strategist, and also in tactician, and also in forming alliances with powerful, dark, mysterious magic users and powerful followers who are powerful dark magic users. And he decided that it's best to keep Mountman in close range, and also to have him by his side as well. He offered Mountman a proposition which he cannot refuse, telling him that it's time that he joins the Order of Darkness to helping it restore power to the sacred world and to the rest of the known universe and to the rest of the sacred universe and to the rest of planet Earth and to the rest of humanity, which the founders could benefit by becoming the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of the known universe. Mountain Men completely accepted the proposition and gladly shook hands with Silverface, stated to him that they are hereby partners and that his resources are for him to use only. And Silverface became enlightened and very, very, very gladly pleased with this, as in completely pleased with this. On the 15th of June, Mountain continued training his acolytes and his followers in hand-to-hand combat, and they began and in hand-to-hand combat and also into swordsmanship, as they began exactly trusting him as a master and also as a master and as well as an instructor and as well as a sensei. Despite this, Mountain Man was very successful because that his followers and also his projects are beginning to exactly understand the lessons and everything else, and began to be very pleased and very successfully happy with himself as well. On the 29th of June, Mountain Man began to meeting up with the dragons in human form, as the dragons in human form exactly told him that it's time for them to exactly help the Order of Darkness to pursue its goals, to further its goals and also its mission, and also to make sure that the founders become the sole rulers of the cosmos and of the rest of sacred existence. And Mount Man was systematically pleased with this, and that it's time for them to exactly begin conquering ancient cities and ancient magical cities and other supernatural cities and worlds and planets, and place them under the sole control of the founders and of the Order of Darkness as well. On the 15th of July, Mountman exactly began using his three-headed dragon to invade the huge city, to invade the huge capital city, to invade the huge capital city, to invade the huge capital city of the supernatural cities between aliens, warlocks and werewolves and witches and fairies and druids who are all living together in harmony, and decided in order to destroy it with these by using the three-headed dragon to destroy the city houses and buildings in the process. And he exactly put the three-headed dragon at the capital room of the royal palace, and said it to the rest, and said it to the leader, and said it to the monarch of the leader, and said it to the monarch of the leader, and said it to the monarch of the city that the great capital city of the supernatural cities and aliens and superhuman has fallen under the control of the Order of Darkness and as well of the founders as well. The monarch exactly decided to fight back, as Mountain Man completely took him down and literally exactly told the monarch that he's at the service of the founders and that he will be completely working for them and also doing and also complying to every orders and every needs from here on out, now and forever. At this rate, they put a huge symbol of an F, demonstrating to show that the founders have complete control over the capital city of the supernaturals and aliens and also the superhumans as well. The dragons in human form exactly created a huge golden temple of their own within the capital city, demonstrating that Mountain Men and the Order of Darkness are fully control over the cities and everything else, and that they're fully in control of the cities and also the inhabitants and as well of its people. Mountain Men exactly convened with the dragon guardians, with the ancient dragons in human form in the temple, in the golden temple within the capital city of the supernaturals, aliens and superhumans in the 20th of July, where they were able to tell Mountain Man that everything else is going according to schedule, the way it's supposed to be. The Intergalactic Coalition will soon exactly arrive in order to saving the city, or either they'll be forced to fighting up against us or taking us down completely. But the rest of the supernaturals and aliens and superhumans are quiet. They're not exactly retreating, or rather not exactly fighting back, despite of the invasion and everything else taking place. Mountain Man exactly reassured the humans he reassured the dragons in human form that the Order of Darkness would dispatch its airship fleet, would dispatch its battle cruisers and airship fleet under the control of Master Power, would exactly dispatch its armada and everything else in battle tanks in order to arrive at the city, to make sure that the city is under the sole control of the Order of Darkness and as well of the founders as well. And the dragons in human form seem very quietly surprised and very quietly reassured by Mount Men, and they were exactly pleased and enlightened and very happy of that as well. On the 2nd of August, Mountain exactly continued to meditate within his central headquarters, within his central headquarters of his chambers, within his central headquarters of his chambers, within his central headquarters of his chambers, within his central headquarters of his temple of the ancient temple of the dragons, where he continued to exactly meditate in order to thinking of a new strategy and his new ideas as well. On the 9th of August, Mountain exactly met up with the warlocks and commanders and with the warlocks and warlords and commanders who are exactly planning to invade other worlds and other planets and other cities throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe. Mountain exactly told them throughout the geographical map that the invasion at this rate would exactly draw much more powerful attention from the universal founders and from the universal monster heroes, and also as well from the united heroes who are exactly liberating more worlds and more planets, and from the intergalactic coalition who are exactly liberating more worlds and more planets at this rate. This can exactly undo their hard work and everything else, but they have to exactly plan a strategical event, planning a strategical invasion that can exactly benefit from it, which they can exactly control more worlds and more cities, more sacred worlds and more sacred cities under their control. Sooner or later, the founders will be successfully pleased with this development as well. And the warlords and warlocks and commanders successfully agreed with Mountman that the tactic, that the strategy and the tactic is wise, that for them to exactly not to plan anything else at the moment, but in a moment they can exactly decide and then try to exactly devise a sinister plan for them to take over known worlds and known civilizations in the process. And the other warlord completely agreed that he has a perfect strategy to do that. And Mountman was systematically very pleased and very enlightened of that, as in completely enlightened. On the 10th of August, Mountman attended a video conference of the members of the Order of Darkness, where Silverface exactly told the members of the Order of Darkness that the plan has been set and that his spy is quietly in place and that everything else has been implemented the way it's supposed to be, and that the situation will soon be under their control and that everything else will exactly plan accordingly. And he told each member of the Order of Darkness to fulfill their very needs and needs and assignments, and also as well as a mission to make sure that everything else goes according to plan without a hitch, and that the universal Earth heroes will be destroyed from the inside and out, since the intergalactic coalition has been compromised and being under the influence of the new current Lord of Magic and his new associates known as the Order of Power, that are willing to exterminate and wipe out the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans in the process as well. Despite this, Mountman was systematically very pleased and very reassured as well. On the 20th of August, Mountman exactly met up with Soulface and told him that the resources that can exactly be dispatched in the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that dispatch all their battleships and battle cruisers and airship fleet under their control, and the founders have more power and more control of everything else, and everything else will be dispatched to their ally known as Black Knight and known as Silver Knight, who will exactly have more power and more control over the war, and will be able to specifically control and conquer the known universe and the rest of sacred existence in the process. And Silverface exactly shook hands with Mountman and said to him that their partnership and their association still remains intact, that they're combining their resources and also their goals for a common goal in order to take down the universal heroes and the united heroes and the world heroes out of the way, meaning completely removed out of the way. On the 19th of September, Master Mountman exactly returned to his three-headed dragon lair, and he developed in order to see that his three-headed dragon has quietly evolved and has quietly changed and grown fully in power, and that despite this at the range, Mountman took his dragon for a ride in order to see the conquered worlds and cities and planets, where he was able to exactly scout out in order to learn more, and he discovered that Lord Clay, who's a protege of Lord Jet, the new Lord of Magic, has quietly defected from Jade's ranks and has formed his own groups of supervillain and also in his own secret society, meaning in other words that this could be the advantage that they've been waiting for many years to come as well. On the 10th of October, Mountman exactly met up with Silverface on the central headquarters of the Order of Darkness within Sacred Valley and told Silverface of the news and that everything else is exactly going according to plan, and that it's time for them to exactly begin activating their next plan and also the next stage of attack. And Silverface completely agreed that it is after all time to test the idea and the final plan in order to see if the universal heroes and also the world heroes and the united heroes and the intergalactic coalition will take the bait, and this time they will wipe them out and never again to underestimate their abilities in thwarting the operations and as well as their plans as well. On the 15th of October, met up, convened with them with the dragons in human form on an ancient golden temple again, and reassured them that everything else is in order the way it's supposed to be, that the secrets of immortality and death and power and the dragons and everything else will be kept in full secrecy, that no one will know about them. But the dragons in human form told Mountain that the fallen will soon return, and that he will thrust the sacred world and the sacred universe into chaos and also into destruction. The war between the Shadow Empire and the Star Empire is quietly inevitable in order for it to take place, but the dragons in human form are quietly concerned that the fallen will exactly return, and that he will bring forth the age of darkness and the age of chaos with him, and that he will exactly try to wipe out and exterminate the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans and the Phoenician hunters and the intergalactic coalition and the sacred heroes of the sacred world once and for all. Meaning, in other words, they could not exactly benefit with everything else being destroyed completely. And Mountman exactly reassured the dragons in human form that everything else is going according to plan the way it's supposed to be, that the schedule has been set in order for it to take place. Now, all they have to do is have patience and exactly rely on their resources and also on the intelligence. They will attack when the time is precisely. One dragon in human form told Mountman that the plan better work because everything else is quietly at stake and that everything else literally depends on it. And Mountman exactly reassured them that everything is in place the way it's needed to be, and nothing will disturb the plan, and the plan will go according to schedule the way it's needed to be. Despite that, they were reassured, and they exactly hoped that Mountain was exactly telling the truth, as well as the other dark and powerful magic users who were quietly as well present within the meeting as well. Despite this, guys, Mountman is very, very skilled in taming and controlling his three-headed dragon. He's been obsessed with the dragons ever since in ancient times. He's been studying them, learning about their secrets and their powers and their origin. And despite this, he has a dragon of his own, the three-headed dragon, which he uses it as a weapon to lay waste to cities, lay waste to worlds and planets and to ancient sacred cities across the sacred world and across the sacred universe, and is willing to make sure that the Order of Darkness and the founders remain in power and in control over the conflict and over the sacred war, and over the sacred universe as well. And he learns from his past mistakes and deeds never to underestimate the universal heroes and the world heroes and the universal founders and the universal monster heroes and the universal defending heroes and the universal space heroes' abilities in thwarting the operation as well as his plans, and he never ever again takes them lightly. Despite that, he views them as a threat, and he views the Phoenician hunters as a threat. He even forms a secretive alliances with ancient and powerful dark magic users who exactly been studying the ways of the dragons, who exactly been studying the origins of the dragons, and even forms another secretive, powerful alliances with the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders who secretly exactly agreed to supply him with more destructive and powerful technology for the Order of Darkness as well, and also helping the founders become the sole rulers of the cosmos as well in the process. Despite this, he's very ambitious, he's very cruel and very cruel and very ruthless and very manipulative and very disruptive and very good at deception. He's very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility, endurance, and also has superpowers, super hearing, super strength, and super speed. He's very skilled and he's extremely immortal, has lived for many centuries and for many years, studying how to control and use a dragon of his own in order to wage war with the Phoenician hunters and to specifically wipe them out. He maintains his usual basis of operation as well as his central headquarters, which is an island of a volcano, which is quietly within an unknown random world that is quietly far on the fringes of the sacred universe as well, and where he can easily exactly hide his three-headed dragon and keep it in full secrecy, where he can exactly use it for power, where he can exactly use his power to wipe out and lay waste to cities and worlds, to ancient sacred cities of supernaturals and aliens and superhumans and magical creatures in a process, so that the Order of Darkness can finally be controlled and able to restore power to the sacred world and to the rest of humanity. Despite this, he's willing to make sure that the founders are in sole control over the war and over the rest of the galactic war, and to making sure that their plans exactly reach get to bear fruit by any means necessary. And despite this, he quietly respects the dragons in human form, in their human form, and is willing to exactly follow their orders and is willing to exactly obey their advices. He's a group of warlords and warlocks and witches and dark druids and commanders at his beck and call, who exactly help him plan and organizing huge invasion fleets to invading other capital worlds and cities and planets and known worlds of the sacred universe. And he's very strategic and very, very intelligent and very, very smart, very, very skilled in cybernetics and also in technology, very skilled in integrating technology all into one, in combining it as well, and very, very skilled in supplying the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders with more worlds and more planets, so that in return the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders will secretly supply them with more powerful, compatible, destructive technology in return as well. He's very, very good at keeping his deals and also his word and his promises, and he likes and he despises Universal Man and Firebird and Warboy, who are his greatest arch nemesis and enemy, and he learns never to underestimate their abilities in thwarting his operation and as well as his plans. He respects the dragons in human form, and he quickly, exactly, secretly forms a powerful, formidable alliance with them in order for them to neutralize their resources for his ultimate goal and for his ultimate plan. He's very ambitious and he's very intelligent, lived for many centuries and for many years, studying the ways and how to control the dragons and their power and their ability. He has a three-headed dragon, bigger and larger and greater than ever before, under his sole control, and that is completely able to use it in order to make sure the Order of Darkness and the Founders remain in control over the sacred world and over the sacred universe and over the sacred galactic war as well. He believes that the Fallen will exactly soon return, and that when he returns, he will thrust the sacred world and the rest of humanity into chaos in order to exterminate the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans in the process, and is willing to make sure that the Founders remain the sole rulers and that he benefits from the goal, he benefits from their goals and also from their mission as well. He's very intelligent and very smart and very, 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 very manipulative and very cruel and ruthless in nature. He has 3 proteges and has a group of dark mystic followers at his beck and call, who will do anything he says. He has conquered thousands of known worlds and planets and cities under his sole control throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred world, and is willing to do whatever it takes to wipe out the Phoenician hunters and make sure that the Founders remain in sole control over the sacred universe and over the sacred world as well. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I will exactly see you tomorrow as well. Have a blessed day and a very great evening and an afternoon. Take care of yourself and also stay happy and stay positive. God bless you all. Bye. Bye. Bye.